Dick Doggard built the Lighthouse in Friendswood some 20 years ago. It looked a little out of place 30 miles from the coast between Galveston and Houston, but it was a landmark. It wasn't until Dick offered it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association to anchor their annual drive that it came to signal the safe harbor we know today. Dick served some barbecue brisket, some chicken, sausage, and it was a real success. The Lighthouse helped MDA raise tens of thousands of dollars each year. Then Little League teams and Boy Scout troops and church organizations came to Dick asking him to help them with their fundraisers. And when they weren't cooking, Dick and a small group of friends, the original Lighthouse cooking team, would build the pits and grills they needed to handle the large numbers they served. They built the gear to be mobile, trailers that could be towed right to the site. Each year, new Little Leaguers played ball and scouts grew up before our eyes. Churches reached out and civic groups raised their goals, and sometimes people just needed a little help from their neighbors. And the Lighthouse team just kept on cooking. Then at midnight on the last day of June 2002, Dick looked out to see the flames. The fire department was there in minutes, but it was too late. Trailers, tools, supplies, not to mention the building itself, gone. All the work, the hours, the pride lay there in a smoldering heap. Only memories, trailers full of memories. For the team, it was like having our heart ripped right out. For Dick, it was worse. Rebuild? Dick had to give it some real hard thought. He and his wife Horaceine had already given, already served. But when the volunteers began to show up, they knew they weren't through. The new building that houses the trailers and the shop covers 12,000 feet. That's where we design and fabricate our trailers, handcrafted to the highest standards. We use stainless steel and heavy-duty hardware and commercial-grade restaurant equipment. Dick likes to talk about Big Daddy Max, a rotisserie that weighs in at over 10,000 pounds, holds 2,000 pounds of brisket at a time, and Granddaddy, the serving line that we've used to serve 1,000 meals an hour. Crawdaddy is a 500-gallon pot, 8 feet in diameter, that can cook 1,500 pounds of shrimp or crawfish at once. All on wheels, all state-of-the-art. We serve barbecue brisket, chicken, boiled shrimp, and crawfish. We do a Mexican plate, spaghetti, chili, or scrambled eggs and bacon. Any dish you want. Dick's favorite is the Lighthouse ribeye with mushrooms. Get him to tell you how he does it. I like to add a little horseradish and a lot of sour cream. April '97, we first saw the need for an emergency capability. We were first on the scene, ready to serve meals to more than 300 in the search for Laura Smithers. 2001, Tropical Storm Allison brought Houston to a standstill, flooded it. The call came for the Lighthouse team's special kind of help. We served 1,000 meals to displaced people, barbecued chicken, beans, potato salad, and delivered hundreds of kolaches to policemen and firemen who couldn't stop for a meal. We took care of 300 or 400 people right here in Friendswood with fajitas, and sent another 400 chicken dinners to Pearland. And I remember that bright, clear day in February 2003 when the Columbia Space Shuttle fell to Earth. We got the call. NASA and the mayor were on the line asking for help. We loaded supplies, must have bought every egg in the county, and were in Nacogdoches in 12 hours, the first on site with food ready to serve. 400 or 500 for breakfast at 6 a.m., 700 for lunch. Hurricane Katrina sent people to us with only the shirts on their backs. We got the call from the Red Cross, then the Galveston County authorities rounded up a Cisco truckload of food and were in place and ready to serve that evening. 500 at Moody Memorial First United Methodist Church. That's 1,500 meals a day. Then there was Rita, Category 5, right for us. Residents were warned to leave, but the Lighthouse team stayed. We fed the emergency responders who remained at their post. The Lighthouse charity team has helped raise millions of dollars over the years. Scouts, churches, schools, JCs, Rotaries, and city employees, firemen, policemen, and folks just down on their luck. We've served hundreds, and we've served thousands. We cook for sit-downs, stand-ups, drive-thrus, or just deliver the goods. For charity events, the team receives not a penny. All of the proceeds go to the cause. When we get the call in an emergency, we put our mobile gear where we can do the most good, right now. And when the job is done, we just haul it all home, scrub it down, repair the dings, and polish it so it'll be ready for the next time.
pretty bad on our lower floor. Got a lot of mess to clean up. We really use a lot of help. We're both retired from a major oil company and a bank here in town, but sometimes you just don't expect what happened today. This was a major water event, and we suffered a lot of damage. Any help would be appreciated. And the Lighthouse team they're coming, I know that. And
when Hurricane Rita, when Galveston had the mass evacuation, we had just a horrific line of cars to Dallas and back, and San Antonio and Austin. Made a phone call to Scott and said, "Scott, I'm in a bind. Do you know where we can find water?" He says, "How much do you need?" I said, "What can you get?" He says, "Well, I got a few contacts." And he called back. He says, "I can get you an 18-wheeler. Is 16 pallets enough?" And I said, "Absolutely." I called the emergency manager in Galveston and said, "Is it okay if I get you some water?" He said, "There's no way you can get enough water for us." Well, with the thanks of our friends at Budweiser, here came that beautiful Eagle pulling into town with a forklift, and immediately the water was out. As the people were getting off the buses, they were just absolutely shocked that a community cared enough to give them, 2 cans of cold ice water after being on a school bus for 10 and 12 hours. That they felt worth. They felt like somebody cared for them, because obviously the city of Galveston did, and the businesses in Galveston that helped us, and it just trickles down from there.
When the Challenger accident occurred, they were called on to feed the relief workers and provide services to them while they were helping with that effort of discovery and of recovery from the Challenger. They've helped numerous Little League teams here locally in the Friendswood area raise funds, for their organizations, for booster clubs. If you've had a family that's had an accident or gotten into a situation where they've had a medical need and haven't been able to pay for all those medical bills, the charity team's been there to help them get back on their feet again. And even areas where the city and the county have seen needs after storms and recovery situations, the Lighthouse team has been there to help pick up the pieces and provide a means of swift help and recovery when it wasn't going to come from anywhere else.
What does this organization need? They need financial support. And I think a lot of people immediately kind of reach for their wallet and go, ooh, I don't have anything to give. Yes, there are many generous people that can give thousands of dollars every month, thousands of dollars every year. They can provide manpower, but the fact of the matter is, and we've learned this especially with just the fundraising efforts in Haiti recently, that $1 here and $1 there all adds up. And believe me, when you stare at a $3,000 light bill every month and you're $10 short, that $10 will help to fuel these vehicles, to buy the food, things like that. We have the generosity of a lot of people here in the area that can make a lot of that happen, but there's a lot of it where frankly the organization still does come up short, and that's why we're here. That's why we're raising the money, is that we are here to make sure that we can keep this organization in the black and keep those red vehicles rolling.